Everybody, I'm tired. I get I'm tired. I mean, it's draining for me to be around people. Like I could sit on this YouTube page all day because it's my space. The thing about this YouTube space is that if I feel anxious or something, or if I feel upset, I know when I hop online, except for during the Big Brother season, it's during times that are convenient to me and times that I feel good and times that I feel ready to engage with people. But work, it's different. It doesn't matter what kind of emotion or I feel because it's always go time. I always have to pretend like I'm ready to go and that I'm prepared to interact with people whether I want to or not. That's neither here nor there because this is a quick topic, which is, would you unfriend a person based on third party information? Now, a lot of times, I know people who, if me and you are friends, you tell me this person is like this. Oh, you don't know the real person because I had this experience with them and they were like this. I know a lot of people who would say, okay, if you had that experience, then that means that's how that person is. So I'm taking your word for it, and I'm not going to talk to them either. But I've encountered enough in life to realize that some things are just about your personal perspective, or it could honestly just be a personality clash, which I hate using. There's a specific reason why I hate using personality clash, but it could be personality clash where these two particular people just weren't going to get along no matter what. And it has nothing to do with who that person is as a person. It's just they don't get along. So for me personally, yes, there are a few things that you could tell me. There are a few extreme things that you could tell me. Hey, this person did this, to where I'm like, I don't even have to ask questions. I don't even have to check and find out if this is true. I'm just cutting them off. But for the most part, I like to judge people based on my experience with them because I consider myself a very good judge of character. Now, some people would disagree because there's people right now who can give examples. Hey, but Mark, you befriended such and such, and look how they turned out to be. Yeah, I'm not always right. And I tend to look for the good in people rather than looking for the bad. But I'm also somebody who's like, measure twice, cut once. So I like to be absolutely certain of the decisions that I'm making before I make them. I don't want to throw somebody out because of what somebody else said and what somebody else's experience was with them, because I might not have that same experience. And I know a lot of people I've been in that situation with, where they tell me, oh, this person is like this person is like that. And for me, I'm like, over the course of time, I pay attention to everything. It's not that I won't take that information into account, because you'd be a fool not to take it into account. You have to at least listen. You know, maybe it's something you missed, or maybe it's something you didn't see or notice, and you don't want to be fooled. But at the same time, I like to gather the data, and I like to find out. I feel that people are what they are more often than not consistently. I don't know if that makes sense. You respect that, Easy? I don't know if that makes sense, but Anybody can tell you, this is how I am. This is the type of person I am. This is my character. This is what I like to do for people. Blah, 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 blah. And I've had plenty of people that spend time convincing you of who they are. And then you find out that they're nothing like that person that they were trying to convince you of who they are. That's just how it goes. And then, so I like to observe behavior, actually, more than words. You know how they say actions speak louder than words? Behaviors and actions speak louder than words for me. You can't tell me this is the type of person you are when every opportunity that you've had to show yourself as that type of person, you have showed otherwise. So, yeah, the words mean nothing for me either. There's been so many people in my life who have been inconsistent with words and actions that I just watch. I watch and I see what you're gonna do, and that's it. But in terms of my actual topic, I just want to know what people feel if you have a friend and that friend has another friend. Let's say it's 3 friends, you, another person, and another person, and the friend in the middle. One person says, I had this bad experience with this guy or girl, stay away from them. Are you unfriending that person if you've never had that experience with them? That's what I want to know. If you personally have not had that experience that the other person told you that they had, are you going to befriend them? Are you going to unfriend them off of the strength of somebody else telling you that they're a bad person? Like I said, my answer is no, because I like to get to know people for myself. And sometimes there's context to things too. There's people out there right now. What's up, Sports 706? There's people out there right now who don't like me. There's people out there right now who would say that I'm a bad person. I'm not a person to even defend myself in most of those cases. And the reason why is, I don't feel I'm a bad person, but if you have done me wrong in some kind of a way, you might have gotten a bad version of me as a result of that. It doesn't mean that I am a bad person, but it does mean that you didn't get the experience that people who are good to me get. There's different versions of everybody. But my point of saying that is there could be background information as to why that relationship with those people went sour. And it might be a personal thing. It might be personal reasons. It might not be this is how this person is in general. There's some kind of thing that caused everything to go sour. So for me, it's a matter of seeing for myself. And there's people right now who I will just completely hang out with them separately. I have my time with you and I have my time with you. And if I see that one is talking about the other and the other is talking about the other, I'm like, let's change the topic. Because that has not been my experience with either of you. And then there's a thing called, there's his side, her side, and the truth. His and hers is the generic statement. His and his, hers and hers, doesn't matter. You get the point. There's one perspective, there's a second perspective, there's an outside perspective. And when people tell a story, including me, even though me, much, much less than other people, I guarantee you that, much less than other people, everybody paints themselves as the hero in their own story. They omit the parts that would make them look bad. And they only include the parts that would make the other party look bad. Even when friends come to me and they're like, such and such said this or did this, can you believe that? I'm like, oh, but what did you say? I just want to know, what did you say? I'm just curious. And sometimes they don't like that. Like, Mark, does it matter what I said, because what they said is unacceptable? And I'm like, for me, I'm like, yeah, it actually does matter what you said. What sparked this discussion? What caused this argument? You know why I'm so big on that? Growing up, I had some family issues where I would get in an argument with one family member and the other one would not be there for the argument. And it would go and it would go and it would escalate and it would escalate. And then I would say something out of pocket. And this could be an argument that had built up for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. And that thing that I said was at the peak point of that argument where I was just so pissed. And then a third party family member would jump in the room and be like, hey, what's going on? The other adult would be like, Mark said this. Oh, there was no check-in for context. There was no check-in for context. I was in big trouble automatically. I was in big trouble automatically. So I guess that's why growing up and becoming an adult, I'm so big on fairness and I'm so big on hearing every side. And trust me, if I hear that one side is clearly wrong, I will bang the gavel on that side. Trust me, I will. But I need the evidence. I quite honestly like hearing both sides. I like hearing from the one party. I like hearing from the other party. And then using my own common sense and seeing to myself, like, is this a communication issue? Did somebody misunderstand the other? Or was it just this person is an a-hole? I mean, that's a possibility too. That's always a possibility, but there's usually more to all of these things. I'd rather listen to both sides before I judge them for saying that. Yeah, so that's my 2 cents. Let me know in the comments what y'all think and what y'all would do in that scenario. And please make sure, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content.